Hey, this is Guillermo Mash here on the Peace and Social Justice Show, and I'm very pleased to have James Coles, North Valley Housing Trust, here in the studio.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization, James?
I'm the director for North Valley Housing Trust, and our purpose is to raise funds for affordable housing. And money is essential to make housing happen and to provide the supportive services to get people off the streets and to transition them out of homelessness. So that's what we do. We take local donations. We pair those with bank investments and other government grants, and then we bring in funds from outside of the community as well to really grow a source of funding for affordable housing, and then we target those funds where they're needed most, and where we have put our emphasis at this point in time is to provide a home and a support network for people that are homeless. We are assisting Domus Development and Home Health Care Management with a project. They are really needing some assistance with acquiring property at this point in time. And so they're looking to build some apartments and reserve some of those apartments for people that are homeless. And they have supportive services and skills in that area, working with the population and providing mental health counseling and other services to help people that will be in those homes. So we are assisting them with coming up with the funds necessary to make that project possible. We're happy to do that.
I mean, do you guys have a ballpark? How much funds are you trying to raise?
Well, at this point, we have up to $650,000 to assist with their property acquisition, and depends on what the purchase price will be and the cost of that property, but we can assist up to that amount. So right now we're in the scoping phase to look at what properties they might be able to acquire.
Why is this project so vital to the community at this time? I mean, for folks that may not be familiar with homelessness.
Yeah, well, without going into a long history lesson, essentially what's happened is numerous cuts to federal and state funding to support affordable housing, and that has an impact. It has an impact on our community in that the social safety net is not there for folks when folks come on hard times. A lot of those programs that used to be there, or the funding sources that weren't there, aren't there. So this is a local response solution to raise funds locally and have that there to build housing and to provide support networks. And that's what we're all about.
So James Coles, what one or two things do we need to know right here and right now about this particular project and North Valley Housing Trust?
All right, we've raised about $1.2 million for building homes, but there's still a need there. House is just a house. It's not a home unless you have a support network to support people, to have that human interaction, to help people transition. So we're raising funds right now for the support network, for the job training, the mental health services, substance abuse treatment, and all those things that will help people transition. We're doing that as part of the NEB's fundraising campaign. If you donate, then NEB's will kick in some money. In addition, we have other bank funders and government sources that could multiply that donation even further. So it's really taking a local donation and multiplying it further, bringing in funds from outside the community, and having that financial resource available.
So actually, that's a good dovetail into the final question is, tell us about the NEB's fund drive that you're doing and what donations to NVHT will be used for.
Any donations made during this NEB's campaign are going to go towards support services, like I'm saying, the counseling, the financial planning assistance, the building a self-sufficiency plan, and following through with that. You can go to NVHT.org, and there's a donate button on there that'll go right to the NEB's campaign page, and that's where you can donate. You can also find out a lot of other cool stuff about NVHT and what we're doing on that website. Again, it's NVHT.org.
I just want to thank you, James Coles, for being here and for participating for people experiencing poverty and extreme poverty in Chico. I know James Coles personally for the last 2.5 years. He's got quite a extensive background. I believe you used to be the housing manager for Chico City? Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. And didn't you work for code enforcement at one point?
I did not.
You did not. I don't want to start no rumors.
I did housing. I did not do code enforcement. I did managing the housing programs. Uh-huh. And before that, I worked in the Bay Area in developing affordable housing.
So I'll just put one more final plug in NVHT, North Valley Housing Trust, and James Cole. Like I said, I've known James a long time. He gets things done. I mean, that's really, really important in the space that I help and assist with Without a Roof and other things I do. But thanks again, James Coles.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for. It's supposed to be about peace, not about war.
Give me 2 eggs. So tomorrow I got nothing.
People make judgments, hurtful judgments because of my speech impediment and the fact that I'm in a wheelchair. They think I'm retarded or stupid, but I am not.
How old are you?
How old I am?
Yeah.
96.
96.
96.
What year were you born in?
I was born in 1918, May 24. What kind of work you doing?
I'm a visual journalist. I interview people.
Oh.
And I'm a writer, photographer.
Oh.
Yeah.
You very smart.
Well, maybe. I'm smart enough to talk to you, that's for sure.
Thank you.
What's your living situation here? Where are you staying?
Well, I say because it's too many peace over here. Nobody bother you, but I don't think I'm going to be too long here.
No.
As soon as I get my bus fare, I get the Greyhound and leave. But I got no money now.
Are you sleeping outside?
Yeah, I'm sleeping outside.
You sleep here right in the park. Yeah.
Well, nobody bothered me.
They shouldn't.
I had a job at 6 years old so I could feed me and my sisters. And my mom would still hit us, and I'd tell them to run away. Because I was little, and I'd meet him at Grandpa's house. And then my dad took us, and then he hurt us. And he was hurting my sister, and I didn't know it, and I tried to get in, and that's when he started hurting me. And he's too big, I couldn't fight him off. And so now here I am, I got nothing. I don't have family, I just have me, and I'm trying to make it. I'm going to the campus cycle since I've been in town, and he's been promising me a job, and so I'm trying to work with Vocal Rehab with the work training program, so I can get the training for the bicycle so that he will take me on, so that I have something.
Yeah, bless you. Where are you from originally?
Vermont.
Vermont?
And then my dad took me to California, and that's where it all started, and we lived in paradise. And he got chased out of the town and moved us to Oregon. And then I came back because he started stalking me, and I got a restraining order. And so I came back down here so he couldn't hurt me no more. That's why I'm here.
Bless you.
People give me looks and look down on me, but they don't know me. They don't stop to read the book. They look at the cover. Sometimes all people need is a friendly smile or a hug, you know?
I'd love to give you a hug afterward. I'll give you a hug now. God bless you. You're so... Man, people don't understand.
I try really hard. I don't want to be out here doing this. I'd rather be working and making for myself. But it's really hard. And all I gotta do is get somebody to give me a chance.
You would sleep here, Catherine, at the
In my
Senator?
chair, I didn't really sleep. I just rest.
Rested for a bit.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody with you, or you were all by yourself out here?
Yes, my friend was asleep back there.
Oh, your friend would sleep back there?
Yes, he was sleeping like
How long? How
with
many?
the dog.
With a dog, yeah.
With the dog, yes, Jake.
I bet you were happy to have this roof over your head.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. How long have you been wheelchair bound, Catherine, and how did that happen?
38 years.
38 years.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What happened to you?
I was in an auto accident. Melanie Bakersfield, Kern County. Some driver hit me at that time. It's early in the morning, on the way to work, and he hit me. But I always survived. Yes, I did.
So you were 21 and you celebrated your 22nd birthday in the hospital, correct?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
My friends gave me a chocolate check to celebrate my birthday.
I don't like the devil. I like good people, like you.
Give me 5. I always do that. Give me the 5. You're awesome.
Thank you. God bless you.
I'm Mash here, and I'm on the Peace and Social Justice Show, and I'd just like to introduce my guest.
Hello, I'm Katy Deaton. I'm with Home Healthcare Management here in Chico.
It's really good to have you in the studio.
Thanks.
Here in KZFR 90.1 downtown Chico, California, people-powered radio. Katy, tell us about yourself and Home Healthcare Management.
Well, Home Healthcare Management is a locally owned and operated home health agency here in Chico. We are 35 years strong, oldest home health agency in Butte County, and in response to housing issues for seniors and those living with disabilities, we've recently, in the last 8 years or so, gotten into transitional care coordination, which has brought us into the housing arena.
So transitional care coordination, explain that just a bit.
From our standpoint, there are a lot of seniors and those living with disabilities who are in skilled nursing facilities, whom, if given the appropriate home and community-based services and stable housing, can succeed and live independently as part of the community. Now, this is good for the skilled nursing facilities, who have a lot of other folks who need their services there, and it's good for the resident who can, like I said, live independently. So we have a program through the state called California Community Transitions Program. We're a lead organization where we bring our social workers, nurses, case aides, and provide a care plan, so to speak, for that individual, provides them with housing, with furniture, home modifications, vehicle modifications, really anything and everything that we can to get them back into the community. Now, where our biggest issue with any sort of transitional care is the housing limitations of it that are available.
Yeah, I mean, that's really to my heart, because I think people are unaware because of their view of homelessness. They see that as the white male on the side of the road panhandling, or someone sitting downtown playing a guitar, but there's a tremendous amount of people that are physically and mentally disabled.
Absolutely, and oftentimes those are the folks that you don't see, and because of that, I think it might be a little easier for folks to not take in that full picture, which is really why I have enjoyed the Northern Valley Housing Trust's 10-year, their part in the 10-year plan against homelessness here in Butte County, as well as the point-in-time survey. If you're ever interested, they're all online. You can take a look and see what the real statistics are.
Oh, I appreciate that, Katy. Actually, at this point, tell our listeners more about the project and how it's going to use North Valley Housing Trust funds.
All right. Well, with that California Community Transitions Program I told you about, we have been searching for solutions to the housing impact that we're seeing, and we're able to do that down in Sacramento with Domus Development, who is the developer we're going in on with this Northern Valley Housing Trust proposal. We are able to find solutions down in the Sacramento area because there has been more access to funding, and we have actually begun providing services in an apartment complex. It's very similar to what we want to bring here to Chico. Now, when we found out that the Northern Valley Housing Trust funds were going to be coming up for folks to apply for funding, we knew that Domus was going to be the best partnership for that, and we see folks every day that don't want to leave our community. Yes, they can move down to South Sacramento, find some apartment there, but that's not what they want. So we want to find the solution. It's easy enough to say, well, there's a 5-year wait list, sorry. But that's not the answer that we're going to accept. And because of that, the solutions that we've been implementing down in the Sacramento area, we want to bring to our backyard, we want to bring to Chico.
What does it look like in this apartment complex? I mean, how many units are there, and what does a life look like, a daily life of some of these folks?
A daily life for a lot of these folks, say for example in the apartment complex down in Sacramento that we currently have, these folks are close to their shopping centers, they're close to the pharmacies, close to bus lines. All of those features are really important, because if we move someone into an apartment complex and they're 20 miles away from the nearest grocery store or doctor's office, then we're not setting them up for success. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some availability in, say, the Calusa area or, Orland, those types of things. But again, no services are available. Mm-hmm. So what we are envisioning for the Chico location is access to those home and community-based services, access to their primary care, to our Beeline, and to really set them up successfully to where they can be integrated in a functioning part of our community. So
just to be clear, make sure I'm clear, is that these were folks that were homeless or at risk for homelessness that were down in the Sacramento project that we're discussing?
Yes, I would say it is overwhelmingly so the housing issue. So for some of these folks, they move into a skilled nursing facility and they're there for so long they lose their apartment. Or maybe they are spending so much money to be in the skilled nursing facility that they have to sell their home. Now, some folks are lucky enough to have strong family support who are financially able to take on that responsibility. However, many folks simply do not have that support system. We're seeing this huge influx of older adults, that silver tsunami, if you will, and the support systems just aren't there. So absolutely, if they did not have the skilled nursing facility, or if it gets to the point where Medi-Cal will no longer pay for their stay, it is the housing limitations that is the biggest complication.
So now I've heard a little bit more about the Sacramento one, and it's really important. I don't know how many people realize that at risk, in risk. To me, in risk is someone that's homeless, but there's so many people that are just like hanging on by a thread. Mm-hmm. Now, the project that you're looking at working with North Valley Housing Trust on, would that be setting aside a certain level of apartments strictly for homeless people, or just see who applies? Maybe you could expand on that a little.
Well, home health care management will be the social services agency who assists with recruiting potential residents and helping them with the application process. Again, overwhelmingly so, 90% easily of the older adults and those living with disabilities that we serve from the skilled nursing facilities are at risk of homelessness. Truly, the only reason they're not homeless is because they're in the skilled nursing facility still. And I talk with social services designees from these facilities all the time, and they are really feeling the strain. They simply can't turn these people out to the streets, but they know they're not appropriate for the skilled nursing facility. And truthfully, they're becoming institutionalized. Their days are very structured, and the longer you stay in an environment like that, the harder it is for you to be transitioned into the community and be able to become self-sufficient and not wait for the breakfast bell, or so to speak. Now, we have a few other funding sources that will allow us to bring folks into an apartment complex here in Butte County, and some of those are for clients who are affected by HIV/AIDS. There are waiver programs that will assist them into moving into affordable housing, and again, overwhelmingly so, these individuals are homeless or at risk for homelessness.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. I mean, I've just seen a tremendous amount of people out there. I've literally intervened with folks that are wheelchair bound, 62, no place to sleep. They're actually in their wheelchair under the senator here in downtown Chico. So wow. The more we can bring the better.
At this time, and really for years now, the housing impacts we're seeing are so great. The wait lists for affordable housing for seniors in the Butte County, especially in the Chico area, are upwards of 5 years. And really and truthfully, what that means is there are people waiting to come up on these lists who will die in the facility. So it is incredibly vital.
Yeah, I mean, I know a gentleman that was staying at my house that literally has been homeless, chronic alcoholic. He was running into the same things. He wasn't quite ready for Medicare, Medi-Cal, but there was no housing available. He literally had no place to go or a cheap motel out here on Esplanade or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of times people will fall through the cracks, and unfortunately, homelessness does not just occur in a vacuum. There are reasons why. There are so many reasons why, which is why it is so great that we have amazing social workers, case aides, and registered nurses who have been working with individuals with these complex needs. We also have a detox program through Butte County Department of Behavioral Health. To know we do not have any psych nurses on staff, however, we understand the complex nature of these individuals' lives and how sometimes if they go back into these same environments, they, fall victim to these addictions that they have, or even being taken advantage of friends and family members. Sometimes, and we all know this to be true, Social Security checks can be taken, from the person who's supposed to be watching out for them. So in finding all of these things out and to learning this person's story and taking the time to understand who they are, how they got to where they are now, and where they want to be, that's how we're able to put our puzzle piece into this. And that's how I think the Northern Valley Housing Trust is going to really become an asset and an advocate for us to be able to find permanent housing solutions.
The other thing that kind of dovetails into what you were talking about, I kind of use the word triggers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you're an alcoholic and you've been buying your beer and you've been sitting on a certain place and you've been doing it for 10 years, anytime you walk by that certain place, you're thinking about having a beer. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. So I think programs like yours that kind of give the person a different life. It's just like, hey, you're not going to be walking by that. You don't have to walk by that wall anymore. You can be in this apartment, and we're going to help you get transported to different places and different things that you can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How is North Valley Housing Trust assisting in making this project a reality?
The Northern Valley Housing Trust, James Cole specifically, has really introduced us to a lot of members in the community from very different fields. So real estate and funding and other social supportive services and different agencies that can really come together. This has got to be a collaborative effort. And with the amount of experience that James has and with the really accomplished and caring individuals that are on this team, every single person I've talked with since getting involved with the Northern Valley Housing Trust has given me that excitement with the ability to ask questions, get resources, get answers, and really continue to push this project further.
Yeah, I mentioned it, somewhat briefly, but James has got a tremendous amount of knowledge in this area.
Absolutely.
He's a plotter. He gets things done. I mean, I'm using that in the utmost respect. I mean, he gets things done. He's just like, we're going to do this here, here, and there. And, a lot of people, when you're doing this work, Katie, I think and I know it takes a while to get things done.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are like, I've got a milestone that says we're going to be in a year and a half, we're going to be here, and everyone's rolling their eyes. But I've seen him get the results he said he was going to get in the first meeting I was in 2 years ago. So I really have a tremendous amount of respect for him. He's got a lot of knowledge about as you detailed.
Absolutely.
He knows an awful lot of people. He knows this subject matter quite well.
Absolutely.
So what one or two things do we need to know right here and right now about this project?
This project is specific to helping our seniors and those living with disabilities in the skilled nursing facilities find the housing that they've been waiting for in the community that they want to stay in. We are finding targeted approaches to solving housing issues, and with every obstacle that we run into, we will find solutions. We found solutions in Sacramento. We want to bring them to Chico, and we want to do so with the support of the Northern Valley Housing Trust.
Awesome. Okay. Katy Deaton, it's been a real pleasure having you in here.
Thank you so much, Bill.
And I always like to tell people I like to see that passion. Why are you passionate about something? I didn't even need to lead that question. I mean, it's an audio format we got here, but Katie's really passionate about this. I can tell by looking at you. I really appreciate it. And thanks for coming in and support home health care at North Valley Housing Trust. And when you see someone that's on the streets that looks like they might need help, they probably do. And why don't you take some time to do that? Cheers.
It's not you who.
Bingo.